this very important invitation by President Lula da Silva of Brazil to President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria is one of the most important bilateral discussions and agreements signed since President Bola Tinubu was elected as the President of Nigeria about 2 years ago. And of course, you will agree with me that we have been to many countries before Brazil, had series of agreements, but I'm more optimistic about this very important visit for many factors, because of many factors. Number one, President Lula da Silva is someone who certainly, I can say that he has a lot of faith and belief that Nigeria, as one of the leading economies in Africa, and Brazil as the largest economy in Latin America, have many things in common. And from what he has discussed with our president since our arrival in the last 2 days to today, he was extremely optimistic. And of course, we discussed many areas of collaboration, partnership, and about 5 important bilateral agreements and MOUs were signed yesterday. And from the conversation we had with both leaders, we are optimistic that this time around, most of the opportunities we lost in the past. Recall that about 12 years ago, there was a similar conversation between the previous governments and Brazilian government. Discussions were held around about $12 billion opportunities between Nigeria and Brazil, but unfortunately, after 12 years, only about $2 billion was actually realized in the area of investment opportunities between Nigerian government and Brazil, as well as other private investors. But today I'm happy from what we discussed during bilateral meetings. We're looking at over $30 billion investment in the area of agriculture and food security, in the area of aviation investment, and bilateral in the area of airspace between Nigeria and Brazil. We also signed an agreement, an MOU, in the area of diplomacy, in the area of research, which has to do with science, technology, and innovation, which centers around skill development, around digital economy, and as well as also area of research. But of course, one of the areas I believe we can do a lot in the area of renewable energy and energy generally, because these were the areas that were abandoned in the past, and the Brazilian president, Lula da Silva, made it clear that because of the current United States tariff regime, which of course you will agree with me that about 40% was what the USA have put on Brazil in the area of tariff. But of course, every country around the globe is looking for opportunities. That's why some of us are very happy that President Bola Tinubu have been the one leading Nigerians' effort toward trying as much as possible to drive investment, create opportunities to Nigeria.
Today, the bilateral air services agreement has been signed between both countries, Brazil and Nigeria. And I'm sure you heard when President Lula of Brazil said that Nigeria's largest carrier, Airpeace, has been designated to implement this BASA by running extended flight operations into and out of Brazil to Nigeria. So it's a milestone in the sense that the connectivity is something long overdue, and our dear president has made it possible for this to come into fruition today. It will open up both economies. The Brazilian economy is the largest in Latin America. The Nigerian economy is the largest in Africa. So both countries are very rich, both in human and natural resources. They need to tap into this, but without aviation, it will be very, very difficult for some of these things to be actualized.
It is really something of pride to Nigeria, to the National Assembly, to all Nigerians, that Nigeria is being accorded the kind of prestige, image, and integrity that we saw in Brazil. This is truly a strategic partnership that I believe at the end of the day will take both the two countries to a higher pedestal. No doubt, when you look at the body language of the president as well as the economic community of Brazil and Nigerians, that this historic visit is going to be a game changer for all the two countries.